Before you start planning for what's next, there's a conversation most people skip, and it's the reason their goals keep falling apart. Most of the time, things don't fall apart because we didn't want them badly enough. They fall apart because we didn't slow down long enough to get clear and clear on what actually matters. Clear on what we have the capacity for and clear on what we're no longer willing to carry with us. And I've been looking ahead at 2026 and I realized I don't need more ideas or bigger goals. I needed a simpler way to lead the year. I needed something that supports my life instead of competing with it. And that's what this episode is about, for us to really get into understanding instead of doing more, doing less, and how that it's going to serve you in 2026. So, in the last few episodes, we talked about getting honest about what's been working, closing the loops from the last season, and designing around capacity instead of hustle. This episode pulls all of that together because clarity without structure fades, and structure without clarity feels very, very heavy. So, today, I want to give you a framework you can come back to all year long. So let's start with part one. This is the vision. You've heard about the vision, you've talked about the vision, you've written about the vision, but this is where most people overcomplicate things. This isn't about having a perfect vision statement or a huge list of goals. This is about deciding who you're becoming and how you want your life to feel in 2026. So, the vision questions that I was asking myself this year are, how do I want to feel in my day to day life? What kind of leader or parent or partner or business owner am I becoming? And what does success actually look like in this season? Success can be entirely different in 2025 than in 2026. So when I looked deep into all of the things that I was requiring of myself, I had to honestly answer, is this the right place for me to be? What ambition was required? What shifting? What mindset? All of those things are a part of the big picture. So when I was really honest with myself and I told myself the truth, I could see how my vision had shifted. And in just 1 year, your vision can shift significantly in life, business, in the family involved, the family season that you're in. Your vision becomes the filter of basically every decision that you make. If something doesn't align with it, it's a no, even if it's a good opportunity. This is important, my friends, and it's something that you really have to decide ahead of time. The second piece of this framework is your priorities. Once the vision is clear, priorities will get so much simpler, I promise you. I always recommend three, not because you can't do more than three, but because focus matters. When you focus, you get a lot more done. Your priorities should support the growth or stability of your work. It definitely should incorporate your health and your energy, and your relationships and personal life have to be in there as well. When everything is a priority, nothing really is. So you need to decide, what are the things that are going to help me build out this vision, and how am I going to prioritize them? So, in order to decide those priorities, you can ask yourself these three questions. What gets your best energy? What gets scheduled first? And what can wait? All of these questions help give you permission to stop trying to do everything at once. I think sitting down and answering them, again, putting down on paper, can make a big difference for the way that you evaluate what these are. And you can always put a number next to every single one because everything always has a time and a place. And the last part of the framework is the 5 non negotiables. This is where the framework becomes real and you really could start breaking it down to make it super simple. Non negotiables are the things that protect the life you're building. They're not goals, they are not standards. So, some examples of these would be time boundaries, weekly planning or reflection, possibly health or movement commitments, your support systems, your coaching community, and different kinds of help, personal or family rhythms that anchor you. These are the things you commit to before your calendar fills up. This is your base, right? So if you don't have a specific commitment to any clearly defined area, then whatever comes in is going to take up your time, and that's where your effort is going to go. Your non negotiables will reduce your decision fatigue and help protect your energy and ultimately keep you grounded when life gets like super overwhelming and super full. And that is how you stay consistent without burning out. So, I'm going to bring all of this together for you. Here's the beauty of this framework: when your vision is clear, your priorities just make sense. When your priorities are clear, your non negotiables protect them. And the plan does not have to be perfect. You just need to actually have something to return to. And so this isn't about just like, let's do more, like, let's add more to our plate. It's about leading yourself well. And if I'm of the mindset I always want to do better, I have to refer back to all of the things that hold me in a grounded space so that I know what to say yes to and how to create the right kinds of boundaries and what to involve myself in. So, as we close, I want to give you a couple action steps. I want you to pause after this episode and write down one clear vision for 2026, an all encompassing vision. Write it out in detail as much as possible, and then bring that down to 3 priorities that support that vision. After that's done, then you can look at the 5 non negotiables that protect your time, energy, and peace. And definitely keep it somewhere visible. Revisit it weekly and even daily. I encourage you to look at this every day. It's a very simple framework for you to look at and for you to assess what's working, what's not working, where do I need to change. When you lead your year with clarity and you stop just reacting and you start choosing, there is going to be so much more potential for growth. And that's how 2026 becomes intentional, steady, and sustainable. And you can grow in a way that you've never grown before. One of my favorite parts about the season is taking the time to evaluate our year. Going from 2025 to 2026, we can look at all of our wins, all of the things that we accomplished, and where we are headed. And if you look at this framework, like if you really take the time to do the work, to look at your vision, to develop those priorities, pick those 3 things, and follow the 5 non negotiables that you've committed to, your life will be in a completely different place by this time next year. So let's together make it the best year yet.